amazing visionaries, insightful people. Welcome to the 7th episode of the Insightful Daily. Do not forget to subscribe to our channel. Don't forget to follow our channel on anchor.fm at Insightful Podcasts at Insightful Daily. My name is Lesego, Montsho, the visionary of all times. And in today's episode, our topic goes like, is fame a blessing or a curse? That is where our discussion will be centered around. My dear friends, you need to understand that there are some people in this world who become famous not because they wanted to become famous, but they become famous through the proliferation of the work that they do. And of course, there are some people too who become famous because they are in pursuit of themselves. There is a distinct difference between people who become famous through the pursuit of their work or art and those who become famous through the pursuit of themselves. My dear friends, you have to understand that fame is very seductive. Fame is notoriety, admiration, and recognition. However, you need to understand that fame and power are not in any way synonymous. Of course, when you look at it from the outside, it may look as if they're synonymous. Therefore, that is why you find that for most people, fame or even the pursuit of fame, or let alone the fantasy of fame, is mostly based on validation and control. Control of oneself. It is about escaping the irrelevance and the feeling of powerlessness that most people feel at some point in their lives. That is why I mentioned that fame is not in any way synonymous to power. But when you look at it from outside, you may think they're synonymous. There is just a thin line between fame and power. And the similarity that you would find between fame and power is that fame, just like power, can corrupt. I do not think that people become famous because they want to abuse those who are around them. But you agree with me that the weight of fame, and let alone the privilege of fame, can even curve the straight of the spine. I want to believe that most of you who are listening to this podcast right now, you're not kids, you are grown-ups, or you are young people who are in the process of growing up. And I know that some of you see people, in social media, on YouTube, who seem to be famous, and you desire to be as famous as they are. You have the desire to acquire the fame they have, to a point where you neglect the fact that there's a process that every single person, wherever they are right now, they've gone through a process that eventually has led them to be where they are. And that process, most of the times, it involves passion. Someone is considered to be a good comedian simply because they followed that passion which is to make people laugh, that passion which is to make people happy through sharing good jokes. Someone is famous because of that passion to make good music, that passion to produce and share good music that will make the rest of the world to dance to that tune. I know this is gonna cause a little bit of tension because you have to understand that you have to follow your passion, and being famous or fame is not a passion. Fame is simply an outcome that comes in your life when you follow the things, when you pursue the things which happen to be your passions. And that is why social media, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, you name it, can only be fulfilling if you have something worthy to share with the world. If you are willing to share your talents, your skills, your abilities with the world, your knowledge, you name it. I personally believe that it is a good thing to become famous, from being a singer, from being a comedian, from being an actor, from being, something that you're doing in your life that you're really passionate about. But the desire for fame and the privileges that comes with being famous without really having a reason for why you want to be famous is what corrupts the mind. And I'm not even saying that it is wrong to desire to be famous. All I'm saying is that desiring to be famous just for the sake of being famous without really having a reason for why you want to be famous is what leads many people astray. This is just an opinion. Everyone is entitled to their opinion, and this is the belief that I hold, because I believe that hunting for fame is something that's really corrosive. It's something that's very harmful, not only to yourself, but to others who are around you. My dear friends, surely being famous because you're successful in something or because you are good in something is something that is very gratifying. But when fame exists in perpetuity, that is not gratifying at all. So you will agree with me that when fame is attached to a good cause, it's really gratifying. But fame for fame's sake, without really having impact in oneself or even in the lives of those who are around them, is just a fleeting reward, if I'm to say. And sadly, fame for fame's sake is mostly all about the ego. My dear friends, I'm not saying that you should shun fame, but it's very important to treat it as circumstantial and fleeting. But we cannot ignore its commercial value, the ability to sell, because numbers make more sales. However, we should be careful. We don't want to see a situation where kids aspire to just be YouTubers for the sake of being famous, or they aspire to be actors, or where kids put people on a pedestal simply because they are actors or they're stars in some programs that they act in, or in some movie that they are doing the role of being actors. And I know that we live in a time where people do not really care what they do to be famous. People would do anything and everything so that they get public attention. And it's very sad to see, but it's about time we ask ourselves this question. Do you want the fame and the fortune, or do you want integrity and respect? So that is the question that you need to ask yourself. Do you want fame and fortune, or do you want integrity and respect? I know and understand that most people are going to say both, but you have to realize that only few people in this planet get to have both. So you have to understand that fame is an illusion and fame is a shadow. But fame is not, in overall, a bad thing. And this brings us to the end of episode 7 in the Insightful Daily with your friend, the visionary full times, Miss Lesego Montsho. Don't forget to follow us on anchor.fm at Insightful Podcasts at Insightful Daily. Stay blessed. See you again in the next episode. Peace.